right, we're in day 36 of our Lenten devotionals. And we're in Matthew's Gospel, Matthew 24, verses 3 through 14. As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. "Tell us," they say, "when will this happen? And what will be the sign of your coming and the end of the age?" Jesus answered, "Watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming, 'I am the Messiah,' and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and of rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Then you'll be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come." All right, our Devo today is from Reverend Edward Schreur. "Hold everything. Are the current divisions in the churches, nations, and worlds a sign of the end is near? I know that the text does not specifically say so, but it's a fair question based on what the text does say, right? Jesus said that the nations will rise against nations. That's happening right now. The United States is enmeshed in the war in Ukraine, which follows closely the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, plus our hotspots in Iran, Syria, Israel, Palestine, and more. Jesus added that there will be famines and earthquakes. A short time ago, many of us coped with the shortage of fresh food and toilet paper due to COVID-19. Shortages have eased in the United States, but that continues across the globe. Then there are earthquakes, which doomsday advocates believe are increasing drastically and explain in detail to any who listen to them. So let me answer my opening question without a hint of uncertainty. No, the current divisions in the church, nations, and the world are not a sign that the end is near, even though they are painfully real. Jesus said, "Watch out that no one deceives you." Let's not fool ourselves or let anyone deceive us. Frankly, ever since Jesus spoke, faithful people like us have been tempted toward the wrong interpretation of our times. More importantly for us, according to Jesus, is to keep our love from growing cold and to continue to give our testimony. God has blessed our church immensely. In gratitude, let's share God's love across the troublesome divides that surround us. Genuine unity is elusive in the world today, but not for us if we're not distracted by misleading signs. When you can see beyond differences to our common human core, let's stand firm and make a difference in this amazing world that God has given us to call our home for now. So, yeah, I think I've probably heard that question of, is this the sign of the end times, more times than I can count. But here's the thing. Look at what else it says. It says, let me find the right thing. All these are the beginning of birth pains. These come first. So yeah, to look around and say nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom, earthquake and famine. If those things weren't happening, then I would be nervous. Then I would say, oh, those things have stopped. Now maybe it's going to be time for the return. See, it all depends on how you view the things. If this is all the beginning of the birth pains, they have been going on. Every generation has looked and said, this is the beginning of the birth pains. So, is he coming soon? Well, it's the beginning of the birth pains. What do you mean by soon? The other thing is that what we don't want to look at after the birth pains, then you will be handed over and be persecuted and put to death and hated by all nations because of me. I don't see that happening yet. I'm not saying I don't see it couldn't happen and couldn't happen soon. I'm just saying it hasn't yet happened, that we're hated by all nations. It's not true. Now, maybe you could make an argument it was partially true in the Roman Empire at the beginning, the first couple of centuries of the church, but that's not the case today. Yes, there are hostile countries to the gospel, and yes, there are social ramifications that some might face because of being an openly practicing Christian. But that's not where most of us live. But here's what I want to look forward to. And the gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. The gospel is 5 to 7 years. I heard this recently. 5 to 7 years from being translated into a voice copy of the gospel in every known language on the planet. We're 5 to 7 years from that happening. Not the entire Bible, but the gospel. The passage says the gospel. Which part of this do you want to focus on? The things that are scary, the things that we're to do, or the exciting thing that God is going to do when Jesus finally returns?